Have you ever wondered how you can make a candle like this right at your home? Well, stick around to find out.
What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to Divergent Wicks, the channel where we talk all things carved candles. Today we're going to be diving in how you can start carving candles at home without any special equipment. By the end of this video, you will have learned what you need to get to start doing candles yourself and some ideas on where you can purchase these items. But before we touch on that, let's go over what are carved candles. Carved candles are those elaborate candles that you would see sometimes at the mall. They make them at festivals. They involve taking a base candle and dipping it into different colored waxes and then carving the candle while it is still warm. Historically, you would only see people carving candles that had access to a huge heating vat that would be divided into different sections for the different colored waxes. And knowing this, I wanted to set out on a way to make this activity more accessible for people like you and I. So I spent months devising a plan on how you can carve candles at your house without purchasing any special equipment. The first thing that you're going to need is wax. And it's not just going to be any kind of wax, it's going to be a paraffin wax and a microcrystalline wax. You're going to want a low melt paraffin wax with a melting point of 125 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. A good rule of thumb is that the higher the melting point, the faster the wax is going to cool on the candle, so you want to keep that melting point really low. The ratio of these two waxes is 1 to 10. For every 1 pound of microcrystalline wax you use, you're going to be using 10 pounds of paraffin wax. All microcrystalline wax is just a tackier wax. It's very pliable and it allows you to bend and curl the wax. For every color that you want to do, I suggest getting 3 to 5 pounds of paraffin wax and the corresponding microcrystalline wax for that. The second thing that you're going to want to get is something to color the wax with. I recommend one of the following: either oil pastels, artist oil paint, or candle dye block. You can purchase these at Walmart, you can purchase them at Michael's. I suggest going to some type of craft store to get the oil paint just so you can pick the specific color paints that you want to be able to make more of that instead of getting a kit that has a bunch of colors in it that you likely are not going to use. The next thing you're going to need is a candle mold. You can get star pillar candle molds online for about $20 to $25. You can either get a tapered star, you can get a straight one, it doesn't matter. The whole idea is that you're going to want a candle mold that has edges on it so you have something to carve onto without running into sides next to it. The next thing you're going to need is wick. You're going to want to get a thicker wick for this project just because the candles are bigger candles and it helps with burning, but it doesn't have to be advertised as wick for it to work properly. I use kitchen twine or butcher twine. Both of those have worked really great for me. The whole idea is that you want to keep it 100% cotton for burning purposes. The next thing you'll need after that is going to be either popsicle sticks or S-hooks. Either one will work just fine for this. You want to be able to hook either the popsicle stick or the S-hook to the top of the wick to be able to hold while you're dipping it into different colored waxes, and also gives you something to hang the candle up with to carve. Next on the list is going to be a thermometer. I just used a regular old meat thermometer that I had at my house, but you need something to monitor the temperature of the wax with. If the wax becomes too hot, the candle is going to deform. If the wax is too cold, it is not going to adhere to the candle properly, so you definitely want an item to be able to monitor the temperature of the wax. Next on the list is going to be a bucket of room temperature water. I suggest getting a 5-gallon bucket. They're just deeper and easier to dunk the candle vertically. You don't want to be pushing the candle over to the side when you dunk it in the water, so definitely get a 5-gallon bucket of water for this. The next thing that you're going to want to get is a loop knife. You can get loop knives in the arts and crafts section of Walmart. This is used to create the candy cane swirly elements on the candle, and it is incredibly difficult to do so without getting a loop knife. Now, this next thing on the list is not a requirement for people that just want to do like a two-tone, two-color candle, but I highly recommend getting some type of buffet pan, a hotel pan, a deep one that's about 6 inches deep. This is going to hold all your different colored waxes over the same heat source. You can get them for like $5 at Walmart or Dollar General, and Dollar Tree even might have them. Next thing I suggest getting is some type of tall metal vase. I got mine at Walmart. You can probably get them online, but the idea behind the tall metal vase is that it offers volume without the width, so it allows you to fit more colors into the buffet pan. They're about $5 a piece, and also you can use old coffee tins, will do the job too. You just want something that is heat resistant and doesn't take up a lot of space. The next thing you're going to need is some type of heating source. Just use my stove and just put the buffet pan over 2 eyes, but you can also get an inductor. You will need some type of heating source to heat the wax in the first place. The next thing on the list is going to be a knife. I have used extendo box cutting knife before. I've used a paring knife before. All of them work just fine. You just want something that is sharp. You're also going to want to make sure that you have a place to carve set up. I just carve outside. I have a hook that I hang a string from and then hang the candle from that. You just need to get creative with how you're going to hang your candle to carve it. You're definitely going to want to be able to protect your workspace with some type of tarp or a drop cloth. You can get a drop cloth at the Dollar Tree, or I know they have ones that are a little bit more expensive, but you really want to protect your work area just because wax is kind of difficult to get off if it does get on things, especially if they are not hard surfaces. Also going to want to get wooden dowels or some type of wooden stick. You want something that is not going to transfer the heat but also last a long time, but you need something to stir the pigments into the wax. And that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot, and continue to follow my channel for more tips on how you can make carved candles at your house. If you hit that like, subscribe, share button. So thanks, guys, and I will see you later.